Islam Dwayne. It is August the 29th, 2019. So this is the third video today. I did 2 videos. Actually the 4th or 5th. I did 2 at the Social Security office with Monty Gray Day. Everything went well. I did exactly what the National Grand Sheet told me. I'm Ron Arrington-Bey as your wife. And he said when they asked of ethnicity, make sure I say white, and I did, because the status, well actually, he said status, and then, but when they asked for the ethnicity part, it's up to you to say white. And I asked was the SS-5, say yes, and everything went well, and we weren't charged anything to get our Social Security cards corrected with Bey. Now, what I find interesting the way about the Bey, I was thinking about jurisdiction and how jurisdiction is spiritual, mental, and physical. So one of the things we learned, and even though not every more behave in such manner that is righteous, is that we are divine spirits. And so when the Constitution is an organic instrument, and it correlates or it communes to your chakras. So us learning how to get back into the constitutional fold, implementing constitutional law, that includes Abraham Lincoln's proclamations in the 13th Amendment, 20 sections. It is a jurisdiction that we are definitely demonstrating on the physical plane, and by us annexing our name to Bey on our Social Security cards, our state IDs, amending our birth certificates, passports, doing all the steps we need to do to alert these different agencies of our change of status as Moorish Americans. It's important, but that's just on the physical plane. You know, and when I say just, because that shows jurisdiction on the physical plane. So it says, so for instance, when I gave the information to the circuit court for a petition of a name change, these are my thoughts. And it said that the Moorish Science Temple supports, gave supportive documents. And because it had up under it, when I looked online, what are the supportive documents? It said Moorish Science Temple. Okay, that's saying in that I am in a jurisdiction in connection to the Moorish Science Temple. I am under our authority, which was created for us. Richardson Dingle-Ill, Timothy Dingle-Ill, Sheikh Timothy Dingle-Ill, Sheikh Richardson Dingle-Ill, and anyway, Prophet Noble Drew Ali's authority. That's what I like to say. So I get that, and then in that, just keep thinking in a higher thought. Allah, the authority over Allah. But who is Allah to me as a Moorish American? Allah is someone who Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated that we should be striving to be, in reference to not causing harm through thoughts, words, and deeds. So in that places in a jurisdiction. So for instance, as I was earning money at Burger King today, so many times my genitals were attacked spiritually. I just ignored it in a sexual manner. Sometimes, guess what? Customers will ask for cookies, and they're attacking the genitals. But I just ignore it. This is not it happens a lot of times as I'm working, earning money. This is spiritually, so it's being done. And so those that have the science of telepathy, it doesn't stop them from eating. Okay. It doesn't stop them from eating, doesn't stop them from socializing, dancing, and I'm not, and we don't have the science of telepathy. As Hebrew Muslims, Moorish Americans, we don't have the science of telepathy. And we wouldn't want to do that anyway, because I always say that is a form of cannibalism spiritually. So that is so in that's causing harm. When you are amongst unclean spirits that are doing that, then that demonstrates, or when those that do it that are unclean, that demonstrates the jurisdiction they're in. They are in a jurisdiction. And so when we as Moorish Americans lower our frequency, our thoughts, our behavior, and we behave like these unclean spirits, which obviously they have quarantined. They quarantine these spirits, these unclean spirits, for a reason. Whether through science they mix with other DNA, dog, ape, gorilla DNA, whatever they might have mixed in their DNA, whatever they may be, they obviously quarantine them for a reason. Some of them to keep them out of the constitutional fold, and you can tell by their behavior. Why? So what I'm trying to demonstrate, Dwayne Buffett, I'm not saying all of us, these are my thoughts, are righteous in our behavior as we implement, as Moorish Americans, these divine laws of freedom. But I can see how it places us as a divine natural being in a totally different jurisdiction. And in that helps you stay separate from that which is unclean. The girl, Rochelle, today as I was working, earning money, the new girl that I told you in the other video, she started working at Burger King maybe less than a week ago. She came up to Burger King today. She's the one that I told her that I was married to you, and Dwayne Bethlehem, and I gave her the layout of why it's great to say that I'm married to you. But she came up to Burger King today, and she had on an American Extended Stay shirt on, and I was like, "That don't like American Extended Stay." I said, because I only know that she used to work for Burger King before I was here when she did, and I've been working for Burger King for over 3 years. It's August 29, 2018, by the way. But then she stopped. I don't know if she stopped completely, but I know she wasn't at the store. I didn't see her at the store anymore. So she just recently came back, and she came up to Burger King with the American Extended Stay shirt on. And I asked her, I said, "Do you want to get an American Extended Stay?" Because that's where Imani Great Arrington-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, live at. We domicile. But they have more than one building. She said, "Yes." I said, "Which one?" She said, "Walmart." That's not the one that we domicile at. We domicile at the one off Admiral Cochran Drive. So that one is only approximately 5 minutes away from the one that we live at. So she came up to Burger King with her American Extended Stay shirt on. I was like, okay. I didn't say anything. I just asked her. I said, "Do you work there?" And she said yes. Because I remember she asked me about my ring, and I told her I was married. And that's what caused the conversation to come up about, I said I was married to you, Dwayne Bey. And she, once again, she's an African, if she haven't claimed a nationality, she's an African American, or a black, female, or Negro. It depends on which law you're looking at. And African American and black, Negro is not a nationality. Pale skin, white is not a nationality. Hispanic is not a nationality. So after she left, I saw a police officer come inside Burger King right after. I think he was standing right behind her, and I took his order or whatever. But anyway, the reason why I'm saying this is because all of a sudden my ankle started hurting. So, and my ankle doesn't hurt. It was definitely forced. It started hurting like it did when Khalid Muhammad spoke of everyone in Annapolis having herpes, or a lot of people in Annapolis have herpes. So what I did was I just kept smiling, and because I knew it was 4 sharp pains. I worked with the owner Janelle, and Carl was there. This is not too many times they have been at Burger King, and my genitals were attacked in a sexual manner, felt sharp pains. So them being there didn't make a difference. This is, and when I say attacked in a spiritual manner, sexually, so many times Janelle, the owner, and Carl have been there, and and that I've experienced these things. But I'm not accusing them. I'm not accusing any employee. And in fact, I'm not accusing those customers that come into Burger King, because I don't know. I just know that it's forcefully done. So I just continued to smile, work. I swept. I restocked the drive-through ice bin, suggester stove, changed the sanitizer water out, expedited food, Did everything that I was supposed to do. Even with my ankle hurting, and it was obviously forcefully done. Even with my genitals being attacked spiritually, it was forcefully done because I am demonstrating a jurisdiction. So, and I'm not in that jurisdiction. So one of the things I didn't want to do is lower my frequency and thoughts where I can easily be placed in that jurisdiction because of such things. Because those acts, which is connected to thoughts, is a sign of what jurisdiction you are in. And so it's obvious that many unclean spirits are placed or quarantined for a reason. Okay, for a reason. This is serious. But the thing is, when I was thinking about to myself, I was like, in Healing the Spirit of Mother Earth and the Universe, Dwayne, you said that the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and once again, I'm not accusing the guests, but most of the guests that come into Burger King, I told you, it hasn't changed. The United States Navy, Army, I saw them in the Burger King today. The black, African American, pale skin white, and those are not nationalities. And then that which speaks Spanish, that go by Hispanic, those are not nationalities, and this. So, and if they do have a nationality, if they haven't been naturalized under these laws of freedom, that keeps them quarantined in that jurisdiction. So those are my thoughts. So when you haven't been naturalized properly, say you're coming from overseas, and you haven't been naturalized under the 13th Amendment with 20 sections in Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, the Constitution, all aspects of the Constitution, then you are still in that jurisdiction. So you are vulnerable to be used to cause harm, a weapon to cause harm, and slave breeding, and be bred as a slave or participate in it somehow. So that's definitely that these thoughts. So I was thinking about when I heard you. I think either you or it was definitely you. I was pretty sure it was you, stating that the 13th Amendment can be used all over the earth in many nations. It doesn't. Even though here it was created, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections that was ratified November 18th, 1865. But those amendments can be used all over the earth. So all over the earth, you can be naturalized under these laws of freedom. And I was thinking how wonderful that would be. Why not naturalize people in different nations under laws of freedom? Unless you are those that are considered government is trying to quarantine them and keep them out of the spirit of freedom. So those spirits that come over here, if they haven't been naturalized properly under all these divine laws of freedom, not only that, they have the science of telepathy, then that places them in that jurisdiction, which in that placed them in a status. So their status is beneath those that are in constitutional fold. And so therefore they have to behave and act as such, and knowing and having understanding that we are among slave breeding, it makes sense. And so once again, I was connecting quarantine, because it's like sometimes you would be surprised. It seems like some people don't even want to speak the word Constitution, but they will speak the word number 3. They'll talk about werewolf, paid. This is why they cause an acts of harm. Spiritually, mentally, what else? Birds, military, but they won't speak about laws of freedom. If you start talking about laws of freedom, they get choked up or act like they don't know what they are oblivious of what is freedom, the spirit of freedom. And I think that's deliberately done through their thought process in reference to that science of telepathy to quarantine them, because once again, having a higher thought, a degree in knowing the importance of not causing harm is so divine. Now, but if you have created a whole different species of something, that cannot understand how you should not cause harm, and all you can do is use them to cause harm, to breed as a slave, then possibly that's where the quarantine comes from. That's what I was thinking, because otherwise it would be just a natural thought to not behave in such a manner. But if you have been bred or have created a species of unclean spirits, and all you can do is look at it and say, this is what we created, keep them in this jurisdiction, then it makes sense. And I know it's not just here, it's all over. And so if all the nations, the way back, but these are my thoughts, were to use these divine laws of freedom, 13th Amendment with 20 sections, even those who did not know about freedom or truly understand, but knew, or I should say, even those who, I would say, who maybe they, whatever reason, but they don't cause harm, they would be free. Just freeing the people in in different nations, giving them dignity and say, I am a free spirit. I'm not a slave. I will not participate in slavery. And in return, that helps heal the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe, because the spirit of Mother Earth is made in freedom, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So those are my thoughts. So once again, it's not many times as I'm earning money at Burger King, the owner's been there, and spiritually I experienced these things. So it's not that was no shock or think, oh, maybe a stop, because I don't know where it's coming from. It could be somebody out on the street walking, who knows? But Allah knows. Allah, my authority, knows. So that's it, and I'll just end that with that's all I really had to say. Today was a really good day. So the Social Security card is done, and now I'm waiting, and then we're going to continue. We text the National Guard sheet right after. I emailed you and let him know what happened, and so now we're waiting. And then now I'm at right now Whole Foods, and I just going to upload, and I'm going to track, show you a timeline of what I've done since I've been here in reference to correcting my status and implementing myself as a natural being, moving from the thoughts of chattel property, mentally, spiritually, and also paperwork, physically, to a divine, from a chattel property, moving from that spirit of chattel property, okay, to a natural divine being by adding the -Bey, which is a communication that I am a Moorish American implementing constitutional law, Islam. August 29th, 2019. And once again, Imani Gray -Bey and I run the Arrington-Bey. We don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, and and I think it was wise for us to be that way, because obviously too many are not in the constitutional fold, have not been naturalized properly, and so in that they are vulnerable, but they have the science of telepathy. But in that they are vulnerable to be used as weapons of mass destruction. Quarantine.